Picture this massive party, right? Beverly Hills, this insane mansion, Jay-Z, Beyonce, like everyone who's anyone is there.
Oh, yeah.
It's Diddy's 53rd birthday. We're talking 2022.
Big year for him.
Huge. 30 years in the music industry, dropped $61 million on this place where they're partying. And now, fast forward, right? That mansion, it's like a world away from where he is now, a courtroom. His whole world flipped upside down.
It really is incredible when you think about it. I mean, this isn't just your average celebrity scandal. This is Diddy. This guy changed the game, built an empire, launched careers, and now he's fighting to save it all. These accusations they're really rough.
Yeah.
Like deeply, deeply disturbing. Could change everything.
And that's why we're here, right? We got to unpack this. How did Diddy go from the top of the music world to facing down charges like sexual assault, sex trafficking, racketeering?
It's wild, isn't it?
We've got these 3 articles. They lay it all out, not just the charges, but the story behind them, why this is happening now, what it all means.
And we have to say, these are still allegations. Mr. Combs says he's innocent. But you can't ignore the sheer number of accusations.
Yeah.
And the patterns. That's the thing that gets you. It's like...
And the timing of it all, right?
Right. For a lot of these cases, time was the issue. But now...
It's like the floodgates opened.
Exactly. You got the New York Adult Survivors Act. Total game changer. Basically, it lifted the statute of limitations on certain sexual assault claims. So suddenly...
Things that might have been brushed aside.
Gone.
Yeah.
Actionable. And for Diddy, well, that's when things really start to unravel.
Okay, so walk me through this. Late 2023, Cassie Ventura files a lawsuit. Now, this isn't just any ex. This is someone he was with for a decade, signed to his label. I mean, talk about power dynamics.
Exactly. And that's at the heart of it, right?
Yeah.
Cassie's lawsuit, it's not just about isolated incidents. It's about a pattern of abuse. Diddy controlling her career, her personal life. She felt trapped.
And she goes into detail.
Oh, yeah. Beatings, being forced into these drug-fueled orgies.
Yeah.
She says he called them freak-offs. Even rape.
Freak-offs? What is this, a movie?
You would think, right. But that seems to be the common thread here. Multiple women describing these parties, saying they were drugged, assaulted. And here's the thing. There's actually leaked security footage.
No way.
Yes. From a hotel in Los Angeles, 2016.
Yeah.
Appears to show Diddy attacking Cassie in a hallway.
So there's proof.
Well, it's complicated. That footage is just one piece. We don't know the full context,
Right.
but it's disturbing.
Right. Adds a layer of like, what if
Oh.
to Cassie's claims of abuse.
Definitely. So you've got this relationship with Cassie, a decade, these serious allegations, and now some potential visual evidence. But then it's not just her.
Yep. It's like, that was just the beginning. More women start coming forward.
Like a domino effect.
And their stories, while different, they all have this same disturbing echo, the drugging, the freak-offs, the feeling of being pressured, coerced. Now, we have to be clear. Diddy denies all of it, calls it sickening, false, says it's about money.
But still, to have this many people.
It makes you wonder, right? It does. And then September this year, bam, things go from bad to worse. Now it's not just lawsuits, it's criminal charges. We're talking racketeering, sex trafficking, transporting for prostitution. Those are serious. This isn't just messing up. This is...
Organized.
Yeah.
Calculated.
Yeah. And it paints a much darker picture. You know, these charges, they're saying this wasn't just like a guy making bad choices. This was calculated.
It was running some kind of...
Operation, almost. That's what racketeering means. Like enterprise, but criminal.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Racketeering, that sounds like mafia stuff.
Right. But that's the thing. The indictment, it claims Diddy had this whole network. People organizing the freak-offs, getting the women, the drugs, travel, even aftercare. Like, they thought of everything.
So more like, they're saying this was a business, not just Diddy partying. Exactly. Prosecutors, they're going to argue it was systematic. That Diddy, he used threats, intimidation, maybe even his status to control these women, make them stay quiet.
So we're talking about power, but like on a whole other level. And it makes you wonder about the whole music industry, right? I mean, it's all about image, parties, access. Does that play a role here?
Huge role. You can't separate this stuff. Think about young artists, especially women. They're trying to make it in this world. And it's dominated by guys like Diddy. That creates a power dynamic.
That's ripe for abuse.
Exactly. And the thing is, speaking out, it can cost you everything. So silence becomes the price of success.
It's messed up. And it's not just Cassie and those other women, right? We have Rodney Jones Jr., music producer, accuses Diddy of sexual assault, harassment.
And then Dawn Richard.
She was in his groups, wasn't she?
Danity Kane.
Yeah.
Diddy, Dirty Money. Yeah, her lawsuit, it's...
explosive.
Because she was on the inside. Exactly. She's saying she saw Diddy abuse Cassie, describes this controlling behavior, verbal abuse. even death threats against her.
Death threats. Come on, man.
Yeah.
How do you go from bad boy to that? It's like,
Yeah.
is everything we see, the charity, the businesses, the family man image, is it all fake?
Who knows? But that's the thing about image, right? It's powerful. It can hide a lot. And it's not just the person, it's the people around them, enabling the behavior, staying silent,
Exactly. And speaking of silence, how is Diddy responding to all this?
denying everything,
Oh.
calls the accusation sickening, false, says it's all about money. His lawyers, they're saying any encounters were consensual, that this is all just to make him look bad.
So classic he said, she said,
Right.
except it's more like he said, they said. But how do you even prove any of it? I mean, this was all years ago.
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Memories fade, evidence disappears. It's going to come down to who's more believable. And with cases like this,
It's scary, right? Because if it really comes down to who you believe, haven't these women already been through enough? Just coming forward, and then years later, they have to relive it all in court against someone like Diddy with all his lawyers, his money. It's like, how do you even fight that?
and that's exactly why we don't hear these stories.
Yeah.
Especially in industries like music, entertainment, power like that. People are afraid to speak up,
Because they won't be believed.
or worse,
Right.
to be called liars, extortionists. And look, Diddy's team is already doing it, and it works.
Sad. But let's talk consequences for a minute. Let's say he IS found guilty on the criminal charges.
That's huge. We could be talking years, decades even, in prison. That's not a slap on the wrist. That's
Life-changing.
exactly. And then there's the civil cases. If he loses those,
I mean, it's not about the money for him, right?
no. At that point, it's about his legacy, his whole image. A guilty verdict, it's public record. That's way harder to erase than a bad headline.
Yeah. So it's like, what is it they say? The bigger they are.
The harder they fall.
Yeah. But it's easy to forget. This isn't some story. These are real people with real lives.
And real trauma, we can't forget that.
Absolutely. No matter what happens with the trials, with the lawsuits, these women, they were brave enough to come forward.
They were. And that takes guts to challenge someone like Diddy with everything to lose.
So, last question, what's your dice? Let's say you're a young artist, just starting out, music, movies, whatever. How do you protect yourself?
Trust your gut. Seriously, if something feels wrong and someone's making you uncomfortable, pushing you, you say no, you walk away. Even if it means missing out on something big. Your safety, your well-being, that's what matters. And remember, you are not alone. There are resources out there, people you can talk to. Don't be afraid to reach out.
Really good advice. So as we wrap up, I think the big takeaway here is this. This is way bigger than Diddy. This is about power. It's about speaking up, even when it's hard. And it's a reminder that we all have a role to play in making sure this stuff doesn't stay hidden. So keep asking questions, keep listening, and never, ever be afraid to use your voice.